Hello, welcome back to my channel Paperbound. My name is Tori and I am so glad that you are here. If you hear any whining in the background, please ignore that. That is my son. He is attempting to rest. I wanted to take this opportunity to film a really quick video. I am not someone who normally does TBRs. I don't like having that pressure. I'm very much a mood reader, and I find that if I do say I'm going to read this book, I tend to then not want to read it. I also have choice paralysis on what to read, but that's beside the point. So instead of doing a TBR, I know there's only like, 3 months, 2.5 months at this point, almost, left in this year, in 2020. So I just wanted to share some of the books that I really want to try to read before the end of the year. So think of it as kind of like a goal, an end of year TBR. So yeah, I thought I would just share those. Most of them I have a copy of. If I don't, I'll just put the picture up. So let's jump right into it. The first book that I plan to read by the end of the year is one that was a pick for the book club that I'm in. We take turns choosing books. We have a rotation. So my friend picked this book, and that would be Brooklyn by Colm Tweeben. Maybe. Anyway, so this is a book. There's a movie based off of it. A girl leaves Ireland and goes to Brooklyn, right? Yes. To New York after World War II, and it's kind of her story there. I believe she ends up having to go back to Ireland or something. There's a love story, that kind of stuff. This is not a book, I haven't seen the movie, and this is also not a book that I would normally pick up on my own. That's kind of what I love about my book club, because we all have slightly different tastes. I've read a lot of books that I would never pick up probably on my own, and some of them have been misses, but a lot of them have been hits, or at least worth reading. So I'm thankful for that. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I will probably listen to the audiobook of this because books that I find that I'm not initially interested in, I might enjoy better if I'm listening to it. Another book that I plan to read, or rather finish by the end of the year, because I've already started it, is The Fell of Dark by Caleb Roehrig. Last names are hard. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I've read 2 other books by this author. They were more YA thriller, psychological thriller type books. Really enjoyed them. And then I saw people talking about this on BookTube and realized that it was by an author that I had read and enjoyed. So I picked it up. This book is about a town in Illinois that is on, they call it the Nexus, where 2 ley lines meet. So there's a lot of activity there, especially during certain times of years. There's vampires in their town that people are afraid of. They always carry crucifixes and stuff. I'm a few chapters in. Basically, it's like, early mid-2000s YA paranormal romance chosen one type thing, except a twist on it. I find it a little meta and so far kind of hilarious. So it's like that, except that the main character is a male and he is gay. So it's interesting. And everybody knows about vampires as well. So far I'm really enjoying this. So I plan to finish that by the end of the year, if not sooner. While we're talking about vampires, I finally got my hands on a copy of Midnight Sun by Stephenie Meyer. I absolutely love Twilight. I haven't read it in a really long time, but I read all of the books. It's one of the series that I have reread over and over again. I don't normally reread series, but I've reread that one a bunch, and I am so excited. I remember reading a little bit of Midnight Sun when, after it had been leaked, and Stephenie was like, fine, screw y'all, and then just put what she had on her website. for us to read who were being patient and waiting and saying that she wasn't going to finish it. And then finding out that she actually did finish it, and now it's a real book that I have in my hands and can add to my Twilight collection. I'm ecstatic. So I plan to read this, but I would also like to reread all of the Twilight books because it has been a very long time since I read them. And before you hit me in the comments saying, oh, you love Twilight, it's so problematic, I don't care. I loved it when I was younger, and it has a very special place in my heart. Now, the other book that I plan to finish in 2020, or start and finish in 2020, is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I just today got this book from the library. I am the first person to read this copy from the library. I love getting brand new books from the library. So I have to read this one quick because I'm sure there's going to be a line behind me wanting it. But I'm super excited. I've actually only read Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Loved it. But this one, it just sounded so interesting. So basically, it's about a girl, woman, whatever, who for some reason makes a deal. I think it's supposed to be like with the devil. I don't really know. Well, this just says a dangerous stranger. So she makes a deal with someone to live forever. The only condition of that is that no one will remember her. And then one day, someone does remember her. And that is honestly all that I know about it. And I think that's all that I want to know about it. Everybody's talking about this book. And for once, I'm actually hopping on the train early and reading it as soon as I possibly could. So I'm super excited to read this. And the last book I do not have, because I have had it on hold for like 2 months now, is The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. And it is the second book in the Eldest Curses trilogy, I think, focusing on parts of Magnus Bane and Alec Lightwood's life together. So the first book was Red Scrolls of Magic, and that followed them on their Paris trip that happened in the midst of the Mortal Instruments series, and now I'm not sure where we're following them, but this one I think involves all of the characters, like the main characters from the Mortal Instruments. So I'm interested to see that and see their relationship as it has progressed a little bit. Because that was one of my complaints about Red Scrolls of Magic. I was like, we've gone so far with the relationship. I don't really like going backwards. So now we're getting closer to current Magnus and Alec. And I'm excited for it. And honestly, I'm excited to have the whole crew back together because I like seeing them. That book I will be reading as soon as I get it from the library, which will be sometime. I'm not sure when, but hopefully soon. Those are the 9 if you count all of the Twilight books that I want to read by the end of the year. I am looking forward to them, and we'll hopefully have some sort of wrap-ups, comments by the end of the year. And yeah, so I'm excited to share that with you and to get into all these books. I will see you guys again very, very soon.